The plot for this film feels a little bit like a fill-in-the-blanks for generic action sequel number 04027, so let's see how you do. Jason Statham is a former blank who gets pulled back in when his blank is blank, and he is forced to blank several people to get blank back. I'll put the answers in the description box below. And yet it works. It's a good, fun blast of a film in the best possible way. The 80s way. A lone man up against an inexhaustible army of red shirts whilst being forced to rescue Jessica Alba from some guy who I spent the whole film calling probably not Ed Skrein, but with a little bit of Mission Impossible thrown in as well. It does take a while to get going, because for a character that's basically a damsel in distress, Alba's character gets a hell of a lot of character development that adds an unnecessary 5-10 minutes to an already overlong first act. But once things kick into gear, this film really does get going and stay going. It's weird that this film had the exact same budget as War Dogs, $40 million, as I mentally had this pegged at about the $75 to $100 million mark. I mean, the film globetrots in a similar method to a James Bond film. The orchestra certainly seems to think they're making a Bond film. I'd expect a letter from the lawyers. From what I could tell, the action seems to be pretty solid Statham fare. Although some of the CGI, I'll be generous and say it does add to the 80s feel of the film. And I did burst out laughing at the sheer cheek of some of the stunts. Oh, and did I mention that this is a 15? No sudden movements now. I'm trying to establish a breeding program for this incredibly rare rating. Oh, and Tommy Lee Jones makes another I'm Not Dead Yet cameo as an arms dealer who has access to submarines and ICBMs, but by that point I was way too into this film's groove to raise an eyebrow. Treat it like the 80s throwback that it so desperately wants to be, and absolutely, definitely turn off the part of your brain that deals with physics, and you'll have an absolute blast with this film. I know I did. This film is a see-it film. I absolutely loved it, and I hope they make a third one in this franchise. I'm Daniel, this is a Dunking. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe.